Hello, and welcome to Tavern Watch Plays, where instead of just talking about role-playing games for a change, we play them. This week, we're going to be revisiting Legend in the Mist. We played this game a while back when it was in pre-release, and now we are going to be playing the official final version, which is coming out for Kickstarter backers as we record this. We're gonna hold off on introducing our adventurers for a minute. We're gonna jump right into a little adventure and let everybody bring their character in at the time that it makes sense. But for now, we're going to visit the humble village of Ravenhome. Although the last cold of winter is still in the air this morning, the people of Ravenhome are unusually active. There's a sort of tension in the air, the good kind, anticipation for the Spring Renewal celebration, which is happening tonight. Spring Renewal every year is the first outdoor event after winter in Ravenhome. It's an opportunity to finally, get out and have some fun with all your loved ones, get out under the open sky and the stars while the weather is nice. But first, there's some work to be done, preparing the food, setting the tables, raking the village green, and more. One important job is to collect things that are to be discarded. Normally, Ravenhome is a small village where things get repaired or things get reused. Not a lot of things get thrown away, but every year, people collect, clothes that are deemed too worn to repair or furniture too broken to fix or things like that, and they bring them to the discarded cart. And every year, the contents of the cart are spilled over the edge of Skunk Glen to symbolize renewal, moving on from the past and onto the future. It's a Ravenhome tradition that's as old as the village itself, but you've heard some rumors that this year the tradition itself might be undergoing a little bit of a renewal. And so we're going to dive in one by one with each of our adventurers and find out what they're doing this morning to prepare for the Spring Renewal celebration. And we will start with Joe Perez. Joe, you want to tell us who you're playing and how your character is prepping for the Spring Renewal Festival?
Sure. I'm playing Daisuke. I am a lovable, fuzzy little capybara man. And honestly, probably what Daisuke is doing right now, as far as preparation goes, because he wouldn't think of anything other than this, is he's recording everything. This is what he does. He's got like this. It looks like a ledger that was probably used or intended for use at the hot springs that his family runs for the town. But he has definitely repurposed it to essentially be like this giant scratch pad where he's recording like, okay, well, this person in the village is getting rid of this thing, and this person in the village is getting rid of this thing, and just kind of making a whole note of it so that for it's recorded for posterity. Because he firmly believes that if it's not written down, you will at one point forget about it, and then it will be as if it never existed, and he can't really cotton that.
Out of curiosity, what thing is Daisuke bringing to throw away? Because it is considered bad luck to not throw out anything. Most people will at least bring a token item.
I think he's bringing like a broken quill, like an ink quill that he's had that he's definitely worn the nib to the point where it is no longer cuttable, and is going to release it and let it go as his token item.
Sounds good. So as you arrive at the village square, also arriving is Liz Harper's character. Liz, you want to tell us about Selby?
Hello, I am playing Selby Greenheart. She is the daughter of the village alchemist, and when her mother passed away, she has been attempting to run the shop. She was out traveling and learning about herbs and medicine and came back home. And now, wow, running the shop is this is a lot of work, guys. This is actually a lot of work. And that's Selby for you. She also has a very large, fluffy dog that is usually by her side. His name is Ollie.
We love Ollie, and Ollie is already the main character of the story.
Yeah.
Selby, what is Selby bringing to throw away at the Spring Renewal Festival?
I think she's bringing an old ledger book, just an old list of this date sold this thing to this person, and just notes of all of these things that she's got years and years of records, and she's kind of held on to them out of nostalgia. Just they're full of memories, but they just take up space. And she's like, I know I gotta get rid of something. But I need all of this stuff, but I've got to get rid of and just kind of trying to say, let's leave this thing in the past. This is gone. This is not. And she's taken one of the old ledger books and she's going to say goodbye to it. We're moving forward. We can do this. We can say goodbye. This is an old book. It's fine. It's fine. I can do this.
Alrighty. Next up, let's hear from Matt Rossi.
Howdy, I'm playing Serena, who is the apprentice to Hathon, who is the town blacksmith. He's getting older, and for the past 4 years, every spring and summer and most of the autumn, I come down from where my family lives, and I serve as his apprentice. I'm at the point now where I'm 16, so I'm starting to think about, this apprenticeship isn't going to last forever. But for right now, I'm just doing the typical tasks and anything that needs doing that Hathon isn't physically capable of doing anymore. I assume there's some kind of market involved in this. Like, people don't just show up; they also have like stalls and so forth, or is it just Is it just kind of a festival and ritual?
It's just a festival. There is generally during the day, everyone kind of prepares for the party this evening, gathers all your goods, and you'll pack them into the discarded cart. And then this evening, in the midst of the festivities, everything will be dumped over the hill into Skunk Glen.
I will have spent pretty much my morning making sure that the smithy and the forge were clean and in good order. Since we're going to be at the ritual, I would have made sure it was all nothing is lit, so you don't want to come back to the forge being on fire. That's really not good. I didn't understand fire for a while, but I'm very interested in making sure that's now. In terms of what I'm going to be discarding, I am carrying a set of 4 bear claws. They're pretty obvious.
Pastry?
No.
He's throwing up pastry.
Thank you, Joe. That's where I went.
No. Much as like if someone says I'm going to kill you with my bare hands, you're like, you have bare hands? But regardless, these are the claws of a bear. They're smallish. They're from a yearling, and I don't talk about them, but I'm holding them like in my hand, and I'm looking at the discards and looking at them and looking at the discards. So I'm thinking about it, clearly not necessarily excited about it, but I do understand the ritual is important to people. And otherwise, I'm just wandering around.
All right. Well, you can think about that a little longer. We'll meet our next character now. Cameron, tell us about your character.
So my character is Tomlin, goes by Tom, and he is a runaway. Got into some trouble that he didn't want to face the consequences for, and so ran away to this village and really doesn't have 2 coins to rub together. So he is currently going through all the back alleys looking for something that someone discarded that he can contribute to the festival.
All right, I'm sure there's something you can find. Hopefully, that person did actually want it to be thrown away, but we can worry about that later. Last but not least, we have someone who's not always in the village, but is here for the ceremony. Trish, tell us about your character.
So Meadow is probably not quite in the square. She's probably in her cart. The sun is bad. She doesn't like that it's daytime and she has to be outside. So she's probably like just kind of finishing up some of her morning stuff that she has to take care of as part of this, where she's been like talking to a bunch of people in the village, getting all of the news, because over the next couple of days she has to start like breaking out all of her books and trying to figure out like when are going to be the best days to plant, what's the weather going to be like for the next several months, that kind of thing. Like, she's a diviner, so she's really starting to get like all of her information together. But she's probably like in the process of putting on this massive, massive sun hat that's probably as wide as she is, and she's pretty wide and pretty short. And she's got like a handful of just like really, really grody, rundown cleaning rags, because part of her culture is they use and reuse and reuse and reuse until stuff is like absolutely has to get gone. And it's just a pile of like stuff that is just the worst of the worst that needs to go at this point. Cannot be salvaged, holes in all of it, pieces of old clothing, like that kind of stuff that's just been used to scrub and clean and everything else that just needs to go.
Alrighty. Okay, so each of you is kind of at or near, in Meadow's case, the village square, which is to kind of establish it in position. The village square is obviously in the middle of the village, right in front of the village hall, and around the time you all are arriving, Alderman Beeks comes out. He's a man in his 50s, crow's feet, but a constant smile. He's kind of a jovial guy, and he's been talking to a number of the villagers today, and is there. He's kind of looking around, and he spots the 4 or 5 of you. And is like, thank goodness. And I think the first person he's going to he's going to go to each of you in turn. I'd say probably the first person he spots is Serena, because she is kind of hard to miss. And he says, Serena, thank goodness. We need some help this morning setting up the festival. Would you mind getting involved? And if so,
What do you need?
So I just heard from Hathan. Obviously, you all have the forge in good condition. Didn't leave the forge on at home. He kind of laughs.
No.
He says, "But
wait, did I leave the forge on?
No.
Oh, I left the forge on. No, I didn't leave the forge on.
No, you're fine. You wouldn't do that." He kind of pats you on there. He says, "You're responsible enough by now." He says, "But no, this is a much simpler problem. Apparently, he's having issues getting some of the stakes that are supposed to hold the banner for the party to stay. Something about the quality of the stakes? Not sure. If you wouldn't mind helping him out, that'd be great."
That is why I exist.
All right. No, kind of pat you on the arm again, because you're 7 feet tall and he's not. Kind of send you on your way.
I'll give him a nod and go find Hathan to see what the deal is.
All right. We'll get over there in a second. Next, he'll kind of meet. Next will be Selby and Ollie heading into the town square, and he kind of, Selby, thank goodness, he says. I know this is this might be a little outside your wheelhouse, but Auntie Elswith, you know Elswith, out on the edge of town.
Yes, of course.
She sent somebody into town to say that she was having some issues with her discarded item. With getting her item for the festival. I don't know what that is, but if you could help her out, would you mind doing that for me?
I'll go see what I can do.
I appreciate that. And he leans down and pets Ollie and slips a small piece of jerky out of his pocket and sneaks it to Ollie.
Ollie definitely goes like, come on.
Beaks knows how to bribe a dog.
Come on, Ollie. Let's go see what's happening.
All right. Let's see. Tom is probably at least familiar to Beaks. I think most of the people in the village are probably at least used to Tom, even if Tom is maybe too proud to ask for help. A lot of people understand that he needs it. Alderman Beaks will kind of catch you running around Tom and ask you, "Hey, Tom, the pie maker Wick, do you know Tom? Does Tom know Wick?"
Yes. Yeah. The good smelling, pies in the window. Yeah.
Yep. Wick runs a bakery in town. He says, if you get a chance today, you're young, you're quick. Wick is just overwhelmed prepping for the party today. Do you think you could throw in a hand over at the bakery? He says, maybe there'll be a pie in it for you.
And Tom immediately just runs.
Tom is just
to the
gone.
bakery. Gone.
Perfect.
As soon as he says there might be a pie in it, Tom is gone.
All right. And with Daisuke, Beaks kind of brings you aside and he says, "Hey, if he says you're good, I guess he says you're good with you're good with water, that kind of thing, right?"
Yes. My family and I are good with water. Yes.
Right. He says, "Now I don't know if this is related to the stream or not, but the bridge into town, that the foresters will be using to come in, there's some kind of congestion on the bridge. I don't know if it's water. I don't know if it's people, but just in case there's something that could be related to the stream, would you mind looking into that for me, Daisuke?"
Of course, Alderman. Of course, I can take a look at that. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And the last one, I guess he'll go to Meadow's cart. I assume your people probably have their you probably have your cart set up near the village square, so there'll be kind of a knock on the door of your cart or your wagon, Meadow.
She'll open the door. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Oh,
Seeds.
okay,
Seeds in 3 weeks.
He's like patting around looking for something to write that down. He goes, 3 weeks. I can remember 3 weeks. He says, thank you. Would you mind? He says, I've got some other tasks to handle. Would you mind helping my wife with some wreaths?
Sure. I can help out.
He says, I know it's a little below your stature as a fortune teller, but we would appreciate the help if you don't mind.
Oh,
and
honey,
and
there's nothing that's below my stature. We're here to help. That's what we do.
And he says, "Oh, thank goodness!" And of course, you're all invited to the festival tonight since you've been here most years. So, all right.
Yes, we've all brought our things to contribute as well. So,
all right. So, with each of you, with a little task to involve to help prep for the party tonight. Let's go around one by one and see what the problem is. We're actually going to start with Tom. Tom, you're heading over to the house that doubles as the bakery in town, home to Wick, the pie maker. And you smell the familiar smells of baking, but as soon as you set foot in the door, this house is a complete mess. There's filling, thickening in iron pots that's still bubbling. There are crusts on a long wooden bench for pies, but all of them they're empty, most notably. And there's flour absolutely everywhere. And there's the smell of sugar and spice and a very sweaty baker filling the air. And next to the door, next on the wall next to the door is the item that Wick intends to take to the cart when he gets a chance, which is a broken table. But Wick looks up when you walk in and he's completely flushed. He steps and he says, "Oh, thank goodness, some help." He says, "All the fruit in the pantry rotted overnight. What am I supposed to do for pies?" And his apprentice kind of slides in next to you and whispers with relief, "Oh, thank goodness, there's some help here." His apprentice Bran is probably about your age.
Right.
So, so Wick and Bran need your help with some kind of solution because all the fruit in Wick's pantry rotted overnight. What do you do?
Tom doesn't even hesitate. He's like, so we need new fruit. Can we just go ask one of the vendors for fruit?
He kind of racks his brain. He says, "There might still be some apples at the orchard just outside of town, but..."
All right, and Tom's gone.
All right, Tom is out there. Okay, so
just so everyone knows, one of his weakness tags for his personality is acts before thinking. So this is completely on brand. He's gone.
Tom is out there and gone. Okay, so Tom is going to get to roll our first roll for the game, as Tom is dashing out of town to grab these apples and then bring them back. So we're going to go ahead and do our first quick roll. So in this case, in this game, your characters are made up of tags, both positive and negative. Things like quick reflexes or nerves of steel, but then also weakness tags like acts before thinking and no formal training. And so what we do when you make a roll in this game is we kind of describe what we're trying to do, which in your case is run out and pick a bunch of apples for Wick to make pies and get back without losing them. And then we're going to add up the positive ones, subtract the negative ones, roll 2d6, and add that number, which is called your power. So let's look at your character sheet and see what ones you think might apply.
I think he's already applied the weakness tag acts before thinking, so we have a -1 there. And he does have quick reflexes and quick on his feet. So I think those two, I think the always up for a dare would be pushing it, but I think those two the quick reflexes and the quick on his feet would get him
Mhm.
to the orchard. And then maybe if there's no ladder or the ones that are all at like normal height have been picked, he may use his staff to try and knock the apples out to gather those. But that just depends if that's needed.
No, I like that. Go ahead with that. So that's, I believe we had 1 weakness tag, acts before thinking, and 3 positive tags for a total power of +2.
All right. This is auspicious. Wow. All right. So the first roll of the game, so that's a 6 and a 4, so that's 10 plus the 2 would be 12.
All right. A 12 in this game is a complete success with no consequences. In this case, I think the owner of the orchard, an older guy named Mally, I think Mally sees you knocking apples down, and he starts to come out and scold you. But you can quickly explain, "Oh, these are for Wick. He had a problem with the fruit," and he not only doesn't stop you, he gets you a basket. So you don't have to like carry all these back in your arms or your backpack or anything.
Oh,
like
great.
you have a bushel basket for your apples.
Oh, good, because I hadn't thought of that.
Exactly. Part of that acts before thinking thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So so you can easily make it back with your bushel of apples, and you go sprinting. Tom goes sprinting through the town with his apples. And you make it back to Wick's. And honestly, Wick is thoroughly impressed at how quickly you got back. He sends and he'll kind of nod at the table and says, "Would you mind taking that to the center of town for me?" His mood is visibly improved, but he still has pies to make.
Take the broken table? Or...
Yeah, the broken table for the cart. Okay.
And he's gone.
Yep. And with that, you are just picturing Tom sprinting through town with a table held over his head.
That's pretty much, yeah, exactly.
All right. So with that image in our minds, we'll turn next to Meadow helping Alderman Beeks' wife, Reeve, with the wreaths. So Alderman Beeks lives in a little house not far from the village hall. And when Meadow arrives with her big sun hat on, Reeve meets you outside with a worried look on her face. And she says, "It's not, well, it's sort of about the wreaths. It's Brownie, our dog. He's gone. Not unusual. Also not the issue. He took the wreath I made. I made it from discarded junk to be burned. I thought it'd be a nice decoration. Maybe next year everyone will be doing it. But I guess Brownie liked it a little too much. Do you think you could help me find Brownie and bring that wreath back?"
Yes, of course. Do you know kind of which way he went?
And she'll kind of point in the direction of town that leads behind the village hall, which is where the party tonight will eventually take place, and also where the cliff down to Skunk Glen is. She'll say he ran off that way. I hope he didn't run towards Skunk Glen gods. She'll say that he ran off that way. So.
Okay. Are you coming with me to see if he'll come to you? Because he doesn't know me that well, but if not, it's fine. I'm going to guess he probably went towards Skunk Glen because trash.
She says, "Yeah, we can." She says, "Yeah, I'll go with you. He'll come to me. We'll just have to, yeah." She moves a little slower than you, but she'll come with you if you need her.
Yeah, I will go with her. I mean, I have plenty of stuff where I'm well traveled. I know the way. I probably know all of the shortcuts and stuff that a dog could probably get through.
Okay. So as the two of you are kind of walking through town towards Skunk Glen, before you can make it, you actually spot Brownie, just running through town, kind of the same as Tom, come to think of it, with a wreath in his mouth. And sure enough, the wreath is in fact made of junk. She kind of points as he goes by. There he goes. That's him. Stop him. And he is just going. How do you want to get this dog to stop running away with this wreath?
Man, I'm sure that Meadow just in general always has snacks on her. She's very round. What can I say? She's going to dig around in her pockets and look for some jerky or something like on her person that will like, and just be like, Brownie, come here, we got snacks. She'll say the treats word at the risk of making my dogs bark in the other room. She'll be like, I got a treat.
Oh no. Well, we'll go ahead and do a power roll to get away from the TREAT word and stop your real life dogs from barking. So let's look at some relevant tags here on Meadow's sheet. I'll go ahead and say I'll volunteer that the treat kind of sounds like it might fall under help everyone, part of your caravan folk theme.
Yeah, I think there's that one, but also I wonder if her heart of gold stuff, because she is so like, super big smile and super, very sweet and lovable. So I don't know. I think either of them would work.
Well, that's the thing. We can add as many as we want that we think are relevant. Yeah, I think big smile and carefree make perfect sense. Help everyone.
Okay.
I'm looking at your negative tag, and unless you want to be bad at this because of the sun, but I interpreted that as mostly applying to your divination.
It's mostly, honestly, I'd be willing to take that as a -1 because it really is. She can't see during the day very well because they are night people.
Oh.
So really, like, that's why she's got the big hat on and stuff, is because fantasy, we don't have sunglasses yet.
Nope, you have a big hat.
No, okay, she's got a big hat.
Okay, so same as Tetsemi, that's 3 positive tags and 1 weakness tag for a power of 2. So 2d6 plus 2.
2d6 plus 2. All right. I rolled a 6 and a 2 plus a 2 for a 10.
All right. A 10, also perfect success with no consequences. So, like, this dog hears the treat word and immediately, like, skids to a halt, almost comically, and just, like, trots back to you. And has to drop the wreath because he wants to look up at you with his big hound dog eyes. And he's waiting for that treat.
I'm going to keep his attention while she picks up the wreath with the treat, and then just be like gentle and just give it to him.
Perfect. Easy peasy. He takes the treat from you. He's a very gentle boy. He's not one of these dogs that, to get the treat. And she picks up the wreath and she evaluates and she says, well, it's a little dirty, but it was made out of junk anyway. So she kind of laughs and she pats you on the shoulder. Thank you so much, dear.
You're welcome. And I just give him all the scritches and I'm just giving him love.
She says, you'll be at the party tonight, of course, right?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. All right. Next, we'll leave you scritching a dog, and we'll turn to Selby. Selby, you are heading out towards the edge of the village to help Auntie Elswith, who lives, she's a little lady who lives alone in a small cottage on the edge of the village. Beautiful little cottage, half covered with ivy. She has hand-painted flowers on the window's wooden shutters. And when you knock on the door, she'll let you in, and inside, her cabin is warm and comfortable, or cottage is warm on the inside. It smells like chamomile and lavender in there. And she kind of gestures towards a folded chair after she clears some quilts out of it, and she gestures you to sit down. She sits down across from you, offers you a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I heard you were having some trouble.
She kind of nods and she says, yes, I've got she kind of gesture outside where, unlike this beautiful, perfectly painted little cottage outside, she has a shed that kind of looks like it's on its last legs. And she says, I've got some broken flower pots out in the shed, and the pieces are, they're not worth mending, too small. And she says, I wanted to throw away some of those broken flower pots, but unfortunately, sometime between winter and the beginning of spring, my shed has been taken over by wasps.
Oh.
And she says, I can't get in there and out without getting stung. Do you have any ideas?
I might have some kind of alchemical concoction that would calm them down or quietly murder them.
And she kind of laughs and she says, hey, sounds exactly like the kind of thing your mother would say.
Oh, that's always nice to hear.
Right.
I think I can take care of this. Yeah. And we can get you out to the festival.
Perfect. So what are you brewing up to solve this wasp issue?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's some kind of bug repellent that's maybe it's something her mother came up with, because they do have wasps in this area that can do this. They wind up nesting in inconvenient places, and so you need kind of. She probably has a special spray bottle for things like this. She just has to. She may even have some back in the shop that's already made, because this is maybe not uncommon.
Okay. I was wondering if it was like a spray repellent or if something like maybe you're like smoking them out with that kind of thing. So, okay. Okay. Well, it's your turn to roll some dice now. So
it had to happen sooner or later.
It happens to all of us. So let's see which of your tags you think applies here.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I've come up with something that I somehow I don't.
So one thing we missed when we played this game last time, which is relevant now, is that the name of your theme, so like your origin theme's name is Village Apothecary. Village Apothecary is actually a tag you could use.
So maybe Village Apothecary, maybe inventive.
Sounds good. Yeah.
To kind of get all of this together. You might have delicate materials might be a weakness on this.
Okay.
Because that's something to do with my alchemical abilities.
Okay, I wasn't gonna throw in both that and overlook danger, but I felt like one or the other was probably appropriate. One or the other.
This isn't dangerous. I've handled this. I know what I'm doing. Probably, I've done this before. It's totally fine. It's fine. It's fine. I brewed this up, and I know it's just right. This is just she's having this conversation in her head, or maybe with Ollie. Actually, I bet she has conversations like this with Ollie all the time, and Ollie's just looking up at her.
Just like, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So Village Apothecary and inventive on the positive side, delicate materials on the negative side gives you a 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. And that's a 7 on the dice, so 8.
Okay, 8 is a success with consequences. So I think what happens is you do succeed. Your repellent works. The wasps come, as wasps do when you attempt to repel them, come swarming out of this shed. I think what ends up happening is a few of them they are mad, and I think they are going to get you on the way out. Liz, you are going to add the status stung to.
Okay.
Just note somewhere that you have that. Statuses
that wasn't so bad. I can deal with this. I have a salve for this. You can take a wasp fine. It's fine.
For the folks playing at home, statuses are kind of like our characters' tags, except they could be positive or negative, and they have a rating, which means they can be improved or gotten rid of. In this case, Selby probably just needs a rest to use some salves to lower or remove the status of this stung status. But if she does something where being stung by bees is relevant, then it can count against her. So, but it doesn't undo your success, which in this case was getting rid of those wasps. So congratulations. Auntie Ellsworth will kind of come out behind you, and she's kind of fussing over your wasp stings. But she's
I bet Ollie can help haul these pots down to the festival.
Oh, absolutely. You all can come up with some kind of contraption to tie to him and rig these broken flower pots up, and so you and Auntie Ellsworth can make your way back into town with Ollie. All right, Daisuke, you are headed out to the bridge, the old bridge over the stream outside of town.
Yep.
I regret to inform you, unfortunately, that it is not a water-based problem. You can hear the Dahlias fighting before you reach them. Dahlia Furrows and Dahlia Muleska are the heads of two of the farming families here in Ravenhome. And they are standing on this old bridge in the middle of just an all-out shouting match. And as you get closer, you realize that they are fighting over whose family tablecloth should be on the main table at the festival tonight. And Promise Furrows Mieleska, the daughter of one Dahlia and daughter-in-law of the other one, is kind of standing between her mother and her mother-in-law, just looking completely at a loss here. The Dahlias have kind of devolved into name calling, and there are villagers stuck on both sides of the bridge because the 3 people on this bridge are enough to completely block it. This is the situation you find yourself in.
Okay.
What do you do?
Questions as I'm surveying the situation. So obviously, I see the child in the middle of them, trying to calm them down. And you said they're in the middle of a bridge?
Yes, it's just imagine kind of a small wooden bridge over a stream, and it's Dahlia and Dahlia on one side, and then Promise, who is 18 or 19, kind of in the middle.
Okay. How far above the water is the bridge?
I love this line of questioning. Probably no more than 6 or 8 feet.
Excellent. I think Daisuke is going to try to catch the attention of the younger, kind of like sheepishly like wave, and then kind of like point down at the water, and then tell her to like make hand motions for her to back out of there.
Yeah, so she spots you waving at her and immediately runs out because this looks like someone who actually wants her attention and is her chance to get out from in the middle of her mother and her mother-in-law. And she kind of crouches down. How tall is Daisuke?
Daisuke's like 5 flat. Like he's
Okay.
maybe like 5'1" on a good day.
Okay, so she's not like crouching down to address you or anything, but she kind of leans down. She's like, "Oh, thank goodness they've been going on like this for an hour." But what were you pointing at? What about the river?
Yeah, I might be able to shock some sense into them. But you're gonna have to be ready to go and talk to them immediately after I do this thing. And you can't tell anybody, because if you do, I might get in trouble with my parents. Is that okay?
And she just laughs and she says, "If you can get some sense into them, that'll be the biggest miracle of the day." And she says, "Your secret is safe with me."
Cool. Daisuke reaches into his backpack and takes out this river stick that is essentially like his focus. It's a piece of like ash that has been like, weather worn and like driftwoody and stuff like that. And he kind of like takes it, grabs it, focuses, and kind of like sits a little bit. And I would like to spray the heck out of both of them with just a little bit of water from the stream below, like directly in their faces to shock them and to stop arguing. I'd like to use water shape and water adept here. But I do have the question of how hot it is out today, because if I'm overheated, I'm going to be taking a negative.
So it's early spring, like right after right after winter ends. It's probably in like the 60s, low 70s at most.
Oh yeah, I'm fine then.
Yeah, I don't think you're overheated today.
Cool.
Also, right. You mentioned you mentioned your ash stick. Your ash stick is also a tag that you can use. So
I will absolutely do that then. So that's what, +3 total?
That's what I'm seeing.
All right, 7 + 3 is 10.
7 + 3 is 10. Perfect. So describe what you're doing to shock some sense into them.
From both sides of the bridge, like basically facing, like getting directly into their faces. You see these like two little, it's almost like little water tornadoes start to form. They're very, very tiny at first, and then these like thin threads of water start creeping up towards the bridge. And then when they get to about head height, they literally bend 90 degrees and spray them in the water like a water bottle. Or spray them in the face like a water bottle.
I think this works perfectly, because what this does is finally draw their attention away from each other, and they are just standing there spluttering and wet, and they finally realize that they've built up a crowd on each side of the bridge, and now that crowd on each side of the bridge is laughing.
And then I usher the younger.
Yeah, like, Promise immediately runs up and is like, Mother, let's go. And like loops both of the Dahlia's arms in hers forcibly and like scoots them off the bridge so people can pass. Traffic starts flowing again, which is good, because some of these people also had supplies that are supposed to come to the party tonight. This isn't just people who are, bringing stuff for the festival. Like, this is people who are actually supposed to be at the festival tonight with like food or tables or a tablecloth. So Promise ushers the Dahlias off to try and have a more rational discussion about whose tablecloth should be on the table.
And then when the water starts flowing and everybody's sort of like moving or the people are flowing, Daisuke will kind of like walk over to the river and just kind of like, or the stream, and lean over and like pat it and say thank you. And then, I don't know what happens after that, but he's definitely thanking the stream for its service.
I think it ripples in response to your touch, and then ripples again even when you pull your hand back. So it's obvious that it is answering you. And Promise kind of mouths the words "thank you" to you as she's ushering her mother and mother-in-law away.
Daisuke gives a very fuzzy 2 thumbs up and then starts heading back to town.
All right. And last but not least is Serena. Serena, you are heading back to the forge to help Hythan. Is that the
Hythan? Yeah.
Hythan, right. Hythan is standing outside the forge. And he's he's got a crate in front of him, and he's kind of standing there with his hands on his hips, and he honestly just looks kind of lost.
I make a soft rumbling sound to indicate that I'm there.
He looks up at you and says, Serena, it's these, and he kind of gestures at this crate, which you can see as you get close is full of steaks. He says, it's these dang steaks I bought from that trader. Poor quality iron. Knew I shouldn't have trusted him. Unfortunately, with these crummy steaks, I can't guarantee that the banner will hold up.
I pick one up and kind of like feel it.
Yeah.
Like, how easy do I think it would be for me to like break this thing?
You think that it would be a little bit of effort, but the problem is you worry that kind of effort might be like, hammering the stakes in place to raise the banner might be enough.
Yeah.
And the problem is that raising the 2 posts that hold the main ceremony banner is an early evening event the children look forward to every year, and you know that Hythan he would be devastated to disappoint the children.
How much time do we have?
How much time do you have? You probably have. So it's morning, and it's probably maybe 11 a.m. The festival doesn't really begin until sunset.
You know that little Cappy person, the one who's constantly writing stuff down and talking?
He's Daisuke, the one whose family runs the hot springs outside of town. Yeah.
He was talking to me about water at one point. I don't know why. I didn't say anything to him, but he just came up and talked to me about it for 20 minutes. I think he was trying to be nice. But it's giving me an idea here.
Oh, okay.
Can we heat up the forge again?
Yeah, we can always heat it back up. What do you got in mind?
We only need about a third of these to actually lift everything. We just need we only need 4 total.
Kind of nod as you pick it up.
By themselves, they're useless. But if we heat them all up and hammer them repeatedly until the impurities come out, we could actually just fold it like the way the water folds, and it pushes things out. It's like if you got a fish in there and you want to get the fish out, you just sweep at it until you knock it out, and that's what we'll do with the impurities, which should give us actual relatively high quality iron. And if we mix in some of that stoke you've got, we could actually turn it to steel, which should hold anything.
And he kind of says, well, it's better. He just kind of shakes his head to kind of clear his head. He says, well, it sounds like it's better than standing here worrying about it, right? Let's give it a shot. So
I know he's old now, so this is not something that I should leave for him to do, because I'm 7 feet tall and gigantic armed, and he is an old man who is no longer. But he's smarter and he knows the thing, so he can stand there and tell me what he sees, and as I try and do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so let's make a roll. What tags on your sheet do you think seem relevant here?
Well, apprentice blacksmith, which is one of my, and also reforging what can be fixed.
Yep. I like that one.
And also blacksmith hammer, because I'll be using my blacksmith hammer.
Okay.
So, yeah, those 3. However, I got a negative, which is the despair of not knowing enough, and I think in this case that would be in there because I've never done this. I just made this up. So I have no idea if it'll work. I want it to work, but so I'm going to say just 2.
Okay.
On the roll.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, and since for just 2.
Okay. That's a 6 and a 1, so that's a 7 plus 2 is 9.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. So I think this will work because that is success with a consequence. And so what will happen? You and Hathan work out to get basically melt down these crappy steaks and kind of combine them into 4 good ones. The only concern that he has is that the banner posts are designed for 3 steaks or for 3 steaks apiece. So he says it'll hold as long as nobody starts, bothering the poles or anything. He says, which the kids don't bother him too much. That should be fine. But he says, "Thank you, Serena. This was great." So
keep going although we don't have no more steaks.
He says this will be fine. It will be fine if we get these cooled down by the end of the party, or by the start of the party. So the mechanical result of this is the solution will hold, but it's not exactly safe. The party tonight will have the story tag wobbly banner posts, which could come into play. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. So each of you has kind of overcome the thing that Alderman Beeks set before you, and everybody arrives. We'll fast forward a little bit to sunset before we wrap things up here, which is everybody's brought their discarded goods and they're in the cart. The cart is sitting near Skunk Glen on the village green, which is behind the village hall. It's a big open area for town celebrations, and it runs right up against the edge of the Skunk Glen ravine. As you all arrive, the sound of dozens of excited people envelops the village green as everyone gathers to watch the sunset and to begin the celebration. And like I said, this is where most years the discarded cart and all the goods would be thrown over the ravine into Skunk Glen. But tonight, Alderman Beeks talks about a change that they're going to try doing, because he says that as we renew ourselves by discarding our goods each year, this year we are going to renew our village ritual by trying something new. This year, instead of throwing things over into Skunk Glen and using a lot of the town's wood to create a bonfire in the center of town, this time the bonfire will be created from the discarded goods itself. Set in the middle of the green, so there are tables everywhere that are set with food. There's a dance area with ribbons. There's a stage for musicians to play. And the bonfire in the middle of it all is already burning bright and tall, as the items discarded by the village are being consumed within. In a matter of minutes, without any special declaration, people have already started eating, they're chatting, and when people get up to dance, they approach the bonfire to throw more of their discarded goods into the flames. Everything seems to be going well. However, there's just something unusual in the air. Maybe you can kind of pick up on it as you hear people on the sidelines arguing a little too loudly about the new tradition. Among the dancers, some people are dancing too wildly near the cliff. Some people are shouting a little too loudly and they're disrupting the music. The music itself doesn't sound right. It's like, instead of harmony, like one instrument is playing against another. It's barely been a moment since sunset, but already something about this party seems out of control, and Ravenhome may be heading for a disaster rather than a renewal. But we'll talk about that next time.
Oh no!
Blizzard Watch is made possible due to the generous contributions at patreon.com/blizzardwatch. Your continued support means that our site and community is able to thrive and grow. Patreon supporters are able to enjoy exclusive benefits like early access to our podcast, a better chance at having your question answered on our podcasts or the queue, and an ads-free site experience. With that, friends, we'll see you next time.